Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Andy.
All good?
All good, all good.
Great. So we'll wait for another couple of minutes, okay? And then formally I will welcome you and we'll start off the session, okay?
Yes, Andy. Auntie, could you enable screen sharing for participants? Because me and Shanil otherwise won't be able to share the screen.
Shall we begin?
Yes, Auntie. Auntie, just if you could enable screen sharing.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll make you a co-host. Saksham, you need to share your screen or Shanil needs to share his screen?
Auntie, Shanil will actually be doing it. So,
Okay, so let me just, yeah, done. Yeah, so shall I begin?
Yeah.
yes, Auntie.
A warm welcome to Sash, a wonderful name, a wonderful organization started by wonderful people. Bpbwa is so happy to have you young, bright minds to illuminate the screen. So I'm looking forward to the session. I'm looking forward to you telling us something and us gaining a lot of knowledge through the pathways of fun to get to our targets is what we're planning to do. So I give the stage over to you guys. Come on, you can begin your workshop now.
Mm.
Okay, so before Shanil begins with the details, I'll give a small introduction about it. So, as the name suggests, the Sash mentoring program, it's a program developed by four student teachers. The one of them being me, Saksham Agrawal, my very good friend Shanil Mehta here, and two more of our friends, Hardik Khattar and Anshpreet Chaudhary. So all four of us were preparing for law entrance exams last year, and today, the three of them are pursuing law at national law universities, and I'm pursuing data science at Delhi University. So, the four of us thought that There were a lot of hardships we had to go through in the last 1.5, 2 years for preparing for these competitive exams. And we thought, how about we solve these hardships for students, just 1 or 2 years younger to us? How about we guide them? How about we help them reach their goal, their dream university, in a fun-filled manner, in a one where productivity is increased, there is a lot of enjoyment, there is a competitive but healthy environment, right? And that's what a Sash mentorship program is about. So today we will basically be showing students, kids who are 14 years and above, anyone, you all can see how basic logic puzzles actually have a real life application in life. How maybe once or twice when you get that WhatsApp forward and your mom asks you, oh, what is the sequence in this? I know it's fun that time, but it does have a real impact in life. So that's what we're going to show you today. How something so simple as logic will form a very big part of your life and your career.
So, hi, I'm Shanil. I'll begin the workshop and we'll be dealing with a few logic questions in this session. And me and Saksham will just show you how we solve these questions, how these questions, and these are all questions that come in logical reasoning tests, in entrance exams, even IQ tests use these questions to decide the IQ. So, we'll just go forward with it. Okay. Okay. So, first question. P, Q, R, S, and T are five speakers who have to speak on a particular day, not necessarily in the same order. R is not the first nor the last speaker. There are three speakers after S and three speakers ahead of T. So this is basically an analytical reasoning question. We have to decide the sequence of speakers that are going to speak. Okay, and I'm just going to show you how it's done. So the very first thing that you're supposed to do in this type of question is just make five numbers so that you can go ahead with solving. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We basically have to decide the sequence of the speakers in the question, and each speaker will be put next to one number. So let's just look at the hints given. So R is neither the first nor the last speaker. So we know that R cannot be in the first position or the fifth position. Then the next point given is there are three speakers after S. So now this is a crucial point. This means that S will be on the second position so that there can be spots for three speakers ahead of S. And then the next hint given is there are three speakers ahead of T. So that means three speakers are going to speak before T. So T comes in the fourth position so that there are three numbers before T. Now, now we can go back to the earlier hint given. That is R is neither first nor last. So now, since R is not first or fifth and second and fourth are already occupied, has to be on the third position, right? And then we go to the last hint. If P speaks after Q, then who is the last speaker to speak? Okay. So P is speaking after Q. So again, it's very obvious. Q comes first and P comes last. So this is the order of speakers, and it's really very easy to decide and get this answer as you just saw. And usually entrance exams have questions like this, and they ask 5 questions or 6 questions related to this one small piece of puzzle. And it can easily be solved, and it does not require any such skill. Even though we haven't been taught this in school, it's something that's intrinsic, it's within us. So let's just go ahead solving the question. So in this, it's who is the last speaker to speak. So as you can see, the fifth speaker will be the last speaker. So it's P. Who is the first speaker? So we can just go back to the earlier one and look, it's Q who's the first speaker. So then the answer is D. And who is the third speaker? And here it's R. So that's the answer. So you just nailed 3 questions. And that's 3 marks in entrance exams. And it was done in almost no time. Even while explaining, it took such little time. I'll go forward. Okay, so this is a sequence and series question. Many entrance exams deal with it again, even banking exams. even BBA exams, even law exams. So in this, we basically have to say what the next number in the series is. And as Saksha mentioned earlier, these are the type of questions that you sometimes get in WhatsApp forwards. And that just shows how you don't actually need skill to solve it. It's something that you can do without knowledge to solve it. You can do it without any prior knowledge. So the first thing that you have to do in any sequence question is that see the gap between the numbers, right? So now there is a gap of 3 between 0 and 3. There's a gap of 5 between 3 and 8. And there's a gap of 7 between 8 and 15, right? So I'll just note down the gaps between each number. So 0 and 3, it's 3. 3 and 8, it's 5. And 8 and 15, it's 7. Now we are just looking at the gaps and how these correlate, right? So 3, 5, and 7 are numbers with a gap of 2 between them, or you can call them odd numbers, right? So the next number in this series will obviously be 9, right? And just make sure that you remember this is the gap between the numbers. So between 0 and 3, it's 3. Between 3 and 8, it's 5. Between 8 and 15, it's 7. So logically, for the next number, the gap will be 9. And then the answer is 24. So again, an easy question. I'll go forward. Now this is another sequence, and this is a bit tougher to get. It's a series of numbers. It's usually called the Fibonacci sequence. So basically, if you look at the sequence closely, you'll see what the next number will be. So the first and second number, when you add 1 and 1, it becomes 2. Now you add the second and third number. 2 plus 1 equals 3. You add the third and fourth number. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So this is how this sequence goes. So the next number is obviously 8 plus 5, which is 13. Let's go forward. So this is a blood relations question, and this is another question that can be asked that is usually asked in IQ tests, in entrance exams, and I'll just show you how it's done. So pointing to a photograph of a boy, Mr. Ram said, "He is the son of the only son of my mother." Okay, so let's just go ahead with this information and try to deduct how is Mr. Ram related to the boy. So he is the son of the only son of my mother. So we have to look at this piece of information first. He's the son of the only son of my mother. Now, the only son of my mother, that logically means it has to refer to the boy itself, right? Because if there's only one son of the mother, then it has to be, and the person in the photograph is a boy, it has to be the boy itself. So he is the son of the only son of my mother, right? So the only son of my mother has to be the person who's, it has to be Mr. Ram, and he's the son of Mr. Ram. So how is Mr. Ram related to that boy? He's the father. Pointing to a photograph, a man said, "I have no brother or sister, but that man's father is my father's son," right? So whose photograph was that? Okay. So let's go forward. He has no brother or sister, but that man's father is my father's son. So the father's son obviously has to be this person himself, and that person's father is him. So that means that whose photograph was that? It means that it is his son's photograph. Okay, so this is another sequence. And again, we look at the gaps between the two numbers, right? So 8 and 16 has a gap of 8. 16 and 28 has a gap of 12. 28 and 44 has a gap of 16, right? So these are the gaps between these numbers. Now we go forward and look at the gaps between these numbers. So between 8, 12, and 16, they have a gap of 4 between them. So logically, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 4. So the next number in this sequence becomes 20. And these are the gaps between these numbers, right? So 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 12 is 28, 28 plus 16 is 44. So the next number becomes 44 plus 20, which is 64. Let's go forward. Okay, so this is a directions question, and this is again a very common question in entrance exams. So I'll just go forward and solve it. Soumya Krishnan walked 20 meters towards the north. So whenever you get a directions question, the first thing you have to do is just draw it. Whatever happens, you have to use a pencil and draw what's happening with each piece of information. So Soumya Krishnan walked 20 meters towards the north, right? So this is 20 meters, and this is obviously, I'll just draw the compass, north, south, right? 20 meters towards the north. Then she turned right and walks 30 meters. So you note that down. She turned right and walked 30 meters. By the way, this is the initial position that we started off with. Uh, then she turns right and walks 35 meters. So she turns right again. So we go forward again. A right from this direction. You have to make sure you understand that the right has to be from this point. So from this point, when you're facing, she's already facing east. So the right has to be from here, and that's why it goes south. So she turns right and walks 35 meters. So let's just draw that 35 meters. And again, she turns left from here, from this point, while she's facing south already. And she walks 15 meters. So it has to be like this. Finally, she turns left and walks 15 meters again. So again, it's left from this point while she's already going in the east direction. So left comes here and it becomes, okay, here, 15. So now we have to calculate the distance between the starting point and the direction. So the direction is pretty obvious. The direction has to be east from the starting point. So we already narrow it down to two options, that is B and D, right? Now this is 30. So this distance also has to be 30, right? And this distance is already given as 15. So the answer has to be 30 plus 15, right? And that's why it's 45 meters east. Another directions question. Vijay walks 10 kilometer towards north. So you just draw that 10 kilometer north. And this was the initial point. From there, he walks 6 kilometers south. So then that means he comes back from here and comes 6 kilometers south. 6. And that means that this distance is 6 and then this distance is 4. He's obviously back at the initial point. I'm just drawing this to show the measurements. Then he walks 3 kilometers towards east, right? Now east, again, east is here. So he walks 3 kilometers towards east. How far and in which direction is he? Oh, sorry, one second. Mm, yeah, sorry. So it's 10 kilometers north, 6 kilometers south. So this is his point now, right? This is 6 and this is 4. And from here, he walks 3 kilometers towards east. So it's 3 kilometers here. Now, how far and in which direction is he with reference to his starting point? So the starting point was this. And we have to find this distance, right? Now they're asking for the direction and the distance, but we already know the direction. So we need not actually calculate the distance because it's northeast from the initial point. If you look, it's like this. So the answer becomes D. Another sequence. So again, in this, we'll first try to see how these numbers can be related. Now it's 4, 16, 36, 64. And let's just see the gaps between them first. 12, 20, and that's 28, right? So now one thing you can do is look at the gaps and see it's 12, 20, 28. And the gap between these numbers is 8. 12 plus 8 is 20, 20 plus 8 is 28, and 28 plus 8 is 36. And then you look at these numbers again. So 4 plus 12 was 16. 16 plus 20 was 36. 36 plus 28 was 64. So the answer is 64 plus 36, which is 100. Another way you can look at it is that 4 is 2 square. 16 is 4 square. 36 is 6 square. And 64 is 8 square. So then the next number in the sequence has to be 10 square, which is 100. So sequences sometimes have two different ways of interpreting them, but the next number usually is the same. So let's go forward. Just a sec. Okay, five persons A, B, C, D, E are being compared in weight and height. The second heaviest person, D, is the shortest, A is the second. So this is a lot of information. The first thing you have to do before going and reading everything, and you just have to draw a table again. So we'll make two tables because this is talking about weight and height. So we'll first put tall and we'll put heavy. So in this, there are five people again. So one, two, three, four, five. And again, five people. One, two, three, four, five. So in this, one will be the tallest person, and five will be the shortest. And here it'll be one will be the heaviest, and five will be the lightest. So now let's look at the information again, right? The second heaviest person, D, is the shortest. So D is the second heaviest and the shortest. So the shortest means he's fifth in the list of tall people. So here it's here. D is here. A is the second tallest and shorter than E. So A is the second tallest. So that puts A here and shorter than E. That means E is taller than A and E is first. The heaviest person is the third tallest person. So the heaviest person, whoever comes one here, has to be three here. So we can't do anything of this information right now. There is only one person shorter than B. So D is anyways the shortest person. So B has to be fourth to allow only one person to be shorter than B. And the only one left in this list is C. So this is the list of tall people. It's E is the tallest, then A, then C, then B, then D. And now we look back to the earlier information we got. The heaviest person is the third tallest person. So the heaviest person has to be C because C is the third tallest. So C comes here. There's only one person shorter than B who is lighter than E and A respectively. So that means B is lighter than E and A respectively. Okay. So we again use that information. So that means B has to be here because B is lighter than E and A. We don't know E and A's position because it's not given and it's not needed for the question because the question asks who is the heaviest person and then the answer is obviously C. Just a sec. So I got done with my question and Saksham will take it from here.
Thank you so much, Anil.
Yes.
Hi. Okay. Uh, so I think in those 15 to 20 minutes, all of you viewing our video did understand how something as simple as logic or analytical reasoning was being used to determine your capabilities, your skill for a profession, right? And I would like to emphasize on one thing that when you're looking at this video, don't look at it as a very short term or very short lived aim that okay, after my 12th standard I'll get into a very good school for undergrad. You have to realize what Shanil just explained to all of us right now is also used in the CAT paper. Okay, the applications, you will find the applications even in job interviews, because I remember this one person, I know him very well. He was 26 years old. He went for a business analytics job and he said, Saksham, before the interview, they gave me a OMR sheet of 30 questions of logical reasoning. And I would only get it if I perform well in that. So I want you all to realize that something as simple as logic and something as fun as logic has such wide applications.
Saksham, are you going to be sharing your presentation now?
No, Andy, actually, these were the only set of questions.
Okay, the
Uh,
set of questions. Yes. Okay.
right.
Thanks. Saksham,
Ah, yes, Andy.
are you there, beta?
Yes, yes, Andy, we were there only. We were waiting for you.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I just had to step out for a call. Thank you so much. And thank you for your lovely explanation. I enjoyed the way you explained the question. And once we share the video, I hope there are a lot of views, likes, subscribes, and all the best to all the four of you, and especially, a big thanks to you and Shanil for hosting this workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Auntie, for giving us this
Thank you.
opportunity.
All the
Really,
best. All the
it
best.
really means a lot that someone's supporting us.
No, no, absolutely. You're
Thanks
going
a
to
lot.
do very, very well, Shanil and Saksham. Some things, like every, aircraft, it takes a little bit of time to take off. And wish you a very, very good flight. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Auntie.
Thanks.